Today on Commander Replay, we check out some mono-white gameplay with God Eternal Oketra. Can Oketra's tokens bash their way past 3 other mono-color decks? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Richard Wazrick. Richard, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link, as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some more God Eternal Oketra today. And just finished up a game with this deck before this. I don't know which decks will get shown and which ones won't, but I've reworked the deck a little bit right here. So the deck right now has got a little bit lower curve to it, and I'm trying to be a bit more aggro, where in some of the other ones I was trying to go a bit more late game and go a little bit bigger. So this one's got a lower curve, and I'm hoping that really helps the deck along, since I did notice a bit of clunkiness with everything. So anyway, that's what we're trying today. We're going to try a more aggressive build. I wouldn't say it's the most aggressive, but anyway, so we'll play the fetch, crack the fetch. Oh, part of me wants to get the Mistveil Plains. Ooh, yeah, let's get the Mistveil Plains. Let's do it. Like, I know we have a handful of 1-drops, but, you know, next turn we can play a Plains and still play 2 1-drops. So I think we'll be okay. I do really like God Eternal Oketra as a commander. I think it's got more combo potential than a lot of mono-white commanders that are out there. So, you know, with cards like White Mane Lion, it's very easy to see the combo, and you can, you know, if you have enough mana, you just pump a bunch of 4/4 black zombies onto the battlefield, and doesn't seem too bad. So it's a commander that I really want to get to know a little bit better, and I am working on one in paper currently. I'm just not exactly sure what direction to take the build. You know, me being me, it's got double strike. We could just jam every sword on it, and I'd be perfectly happy calling that a day. But I am interested to see if there are some other directions that this commander can go as well. I've been trying to make more of the go wide thing work, and, you know, my success has been hit and miss up to this point, but it's definitely got some inherent power, so take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we've got Rogaku piloting Lim Dul, the Necromancer. I'll give this one a read, since it may not be on the radar for a lot of you. It's 5 and 2 black for a 4/4. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, return it to the battlefield under your control. It's a zombie in addition to its other types, and you can pay 1 and a black to regenerate target zombie. Actually a pretty cool little card, maybe a little bit overcosted in that mana cost, and that's probably one of the things that has kept it out of mainstream commander play. But the ability is cool. It may be a little bit mana hungry also. Like, you're probably really going to want something like a black market or something like that. Some means of generating lots of extra mana to really get that going. But reanimating stuff from your opponent as it dies, pretty cool effect. So even though it may be a little expensive, one that you can still get excited about. Anyway, that brings back to our turn. We draw a Revelark. Revelark might be handy later. Let's play the Buried Ruin. Let's play the Skull Clamp. Play the Lantax. And we'll pass turn like that. Next up, we have Champion of Thune piloting Zetalpa Primal Dawn. An interesting card, and in the late game can definitely be very strong. It's 8 mana for a 4/8 with Flying, Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. It's a keyword soup kind of commander, and the Indestructible, I think, is the one that really kind of brings it home, because once it's in play, it's pretty tough to get rid of. But I would say, as far as that cycle goes, like, it's arguably the worst or second worst of the cycle, and cost the most, since the green one, you never actually pay full price for it, and is usually the cheapest one. Don't know why it needed to be 8 mana. You could easily cut it down to 7 mana, and for commander play, you could easily make it 6, and it'd probably still be fine at 6. I think it would still be less impactful than Atali at 6. So one of those prime examples of the white card of the cycle kind of getting hosed a little bit. And something that's been on my mind, I did the mono white video last week and thought I would get some gameplay in on a mono white deck since it had been a minute since I've done it, so that's what we're doing today. But yeah, you know, Zetalpa could have been better, could have been more interesting, could have been cheaper, all that stuff. Anyway, brings it back to our turn. That's a land tax trigger. Perfect. I say we get 3 lands right here. And we draw a land off the top, because that's always what happens when you go for 3 on Magic Online. Awesome. How about this, though? Some of you guys always wail on me for not matching art. We got matching art today. Those two might be a little different, but they're out of the same set, so. Anyway, let us play this Pearl Medallion. And next turn we can get our commander in. Seems cool. And finishing up on our opponents, by the way, we have Xenosai piloting Yeva, Nature's Herald. A very solid mono green commander, gives everything flash. Yeah, they can do a lot. When they can dodge board wipes, and when Avenger of Zendikar comes down at an end step, and then the landfalls start happening, it's a lot of trouble. It is a lot of trouble. Opponent's going to crack themselves a Myriad Landscape, sure. So looking ahead a little bit, if we can get our commander into play, and it doesn't get shot, we have Pearl Medallion with White Mane Lion. We can bounce that at the end step multiple times and potentially untap with a pretty sizable army. And we can do it at instant speed to the point where opponents can't respond to it at sorcery speed. So this actually looks pretty good. The only thing I'm a little sad about is that unless we draw a Mana Rock, we won't be able to get the Skull Clamp on the Oketra this turn. Opponent does have a Tireless Tracker in play. They do get a landfall trigger, and they get a clue right there. Sitting on a Myriad Landscape currently can get more landfall triggers if they want to. Here's a Guardian Project for opponent. That's a good one. That is a card that can wreck your day. Notably, the turns are a little out of order this turn. That happens when people join the game queue, leave the queue, and then rejoin. Things will get messed up like that. It's a little bit annoying. No action from opponent, assumingly they're just going to crack all their fetches and their Myriad Landscapes and things like that. They do have 2 Myriad Landscapes currently. Seems pretty good. Brings back to our turn, Land Tax trigger. I'm going to go for 3 right here just to kind of thin the deck a little bit. So hopefully we don't draw as many lands the later portions of the game. And we draw a Burnished Heart because that's what you need when you have 7 lands in hand. Play a Plains. Get our commander. Discard some lands. So we discard 3 lands and we go down to 2 lands in hand. With Land Tax and Skull Clamp, as long as all the artifacts and enchantments don't get blown up, should be just fine. Here's a Crypt Ghast for the mono black opponent. Interesting, we do have 4 monocolor decks today. We got 2 white, a green, and a black. Get some of that monocolor goodness. For a long time, I really only built monocolor decks. There's just something I like about the simplicity of your mana being really clean, having access to the mana doublers. You know, generally whatever color you're in, the things in that color all kind of care about the same sort of thing. So thematically, it's usually pretty easy to build. Black is going to care a lot about graveyards. Red's going to be haste and damage and, you know, that sort of stuff. Green is going to be a lot of ramp. You guys get the idea. So for a long time, I really only built monocolor decks, and also they are nice because you don't have to go out and spend a ton on lands, which definitely not the most exciting thing to do, to have to go spend like $100 on fetch lands for a deck. So opponent plays a land, cracks a clue, draws a card, Tireless Tracker gets bigger. You know what's kind of crazy to me is God Eternal Oketra is 5 mana for a 3/6 with double strike, and then the token ability, obviously. Oketra the True is 4 mana for a 3/6 double strike that can't attack or block unless you have 3 creatures in play. For 1 mana, you essentially get rid of the drawback of the attacking blocking thing, which is crazy. Now, I get it, Oketra the True is indestructible, and that's like a pretty big deal. But, you know, for 1 additional mana, you have a creature that can attack and block all the time versus one that, you know, has a fairly hefty restriction to it. And just kind of an interesting thing I noticed the other day. Anyway, brings back to our turn another Land Tax trigger. Just going to go for 1 right here. We draw a Thaumatic Compass. Ooh. I guess we don't need that just yet with the Land Tax. We'll drop it down at some point if we need to get it flipped over, but at the moment, it can just kind of sit there. We do have 8 cards in hand. I guess we just discard another Plains. Before we do anything, let's get the Skull Clamp attached to the God Eternal Oketra. Let's send Oketra to the graveyard. So what'll happen, someone told me about this, it was actually Tribal Kai of the EDH channel, told me about this, that if this thing dies with a Skull Clamp on it, you're going to draw 2 cards. Supposedly that'll put it basically right back on top of our library, so interested in trying that out. We'll see how it goes. Green always makes me nervous, and they've got mana and card draw in multiple sources, so I think we're attacking over to the green player. And there's 8 commander damage for them, down to 32. So we'll pass the turn. We're going to discard a Plains. That's a Dross Harvester coming into play. 4/4 protection from white. At the beginning of your end step, you lose 4 life. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 2 life. Interesting. Being that we are a token kind of deck, we could potentially give them a lot of life if our board gets blown up after we do this White Mane Lion bit. Also, they have protection from a lot of our stuff. Although, interestingly, the zombies from Oketra are black, so does not have protection from that. Oh boy, here we go. Siphon Flesh. Each other player sacrifices a creature. You create a 2/2 black zombie creature for each thing. Sacrifice this away. Now seems like a good time for our White Mane Lion. We will make a 4/4 black zombie. We'll auto that trigger. Return the lion to the hand. Opponents know what's up now. Opponent does flash in a Lightning Greaves and off of the Sigarda's Aid, and that's to get the card draw off the Pure Steel Paladin. Tireless Tracker, Pure Steel Paladin getting sacrificed. We're going to sacrifice our Zombie Warrior. And opponent's going to gain 6 life. Seems good. Gets themselves 3 zombies. Yeah, it's a cute little trick. It's not a terrible card. You trim your opponent's creatures a little bit, and you get a bunch yourself. Little pricey at 5 mana, but preferred at 4. But in the right deck, doesn't look bad. More importantly, getting rid of the Tireless Tracker and the Pure Steel Paladin is pretty big. Those cards can both do a lot of work, albeit in very different ways. Opponent going to send the Cryptghast our way. That's not a great idea. We're going to play the White Mane Lion, bounce the White Mane Lion, block the Cryptghast. Opponent gains 2 more life. Cryptghast down, that's a huge loss for opponent. Unless they're planning to, do some reanimatory stuff, living death, I don't know. Opponent loses 4 life at the end step. Sure. Down to 47. Opponent said, yikes. Yeah, I guess White Mane Lion is probably not a card on their radars, and even more so with this commander in particular. I happen to play during Planar Chaos, so it's a card that I remember. Even have a couple in a box somewhere. No action from the green player. Oh, right, Yeva. Oh, yeah. That's not that surprising. Caught me off guard for a second, because usually green decks tap out during their main phase, unless you've got a Yeva. Opponent cracks a Myriad Landscape, plays a Soul Ring. Gonna play a Sunscorched Regent. Well, let's do our White Mane Lion things before that comes into play. Sunscorched Regent, such a sweet card. So we got ourselves 3 4/4s. Not bad. It's gonna bring it back to our turn. There's a land tax trigger. Let's get 2 right here. And we draw a land, because of course. Let's play a Plains. Kind of want to get this Odric into play, because that allows us to do some really cool things. I think I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep attacking. Well, that could get bigger, become a 5/4 if they cast 1 spell. I'm just gonna send all the zombies over to Yeva. I don't like green decks. Green is the new blue for me. Blue decks don't bother me nearly as much as they used to. If you put pressure on them and blow up their combo pieces, then they don't typically win. Where green decks are so much harder to stop. We attack it. Yeah, maybe we'll attack. We'll send Oketra into the white player. No blocks from everyone. Everyone just going to take those hits. Yeva down to 19 and Zetalpa down to 30 with 8 commander. Let us think I feel like Burnished Heart's just a teeny bit too slow at this moment. Let's get the Thaumatic Compass in. That'll trigger the Sunscorched Regent. And we'll discard Plains. Pass turn like that. Kind of in a place where, a board wipe isn't out of the question. Sunscorched Regent is a card that usually demands an answer. Our board state is growing. Yeva will be into play, although that's a weird timing issue, so, the white player would probably have to play it, but because of the flash. Oh, that's an extra planar lens for opponent. That'll get them some mana doubling. So extra planar lens comes in, opponent grabs a swamp, and they will pass like that. So opponent's going to flash in the Yeva at the end step. Yep. Guardian Project will trigger. They're going to flash in a Reclamation Sage. Let's see what they go after. That'll also trigger the Guardian Project. Rec Sage on the boots of the dragon. That seems like a good idea. And opponent loses 4 life at the end step, goes down to 43. That's a Conjurer's Closet for the green player. Seems not ideal. I think with extra planar lens and Sigarda's Aid, I don't think our stuff's the first target. We have a Skull Clamp, though. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to burn the path on the Rec Sage if I really don't have to. Yep, opponent's going to blink the Rec Sage. Guardian Project, Rec Sage, trigger. Oh, Rec Sage going to go on our Pearl Medallion, huh? Okay, well, in that case, White Mane Lion a bunch of times. And return the lion 1 last time. We've got 7 4/4 zombie warrior tokens. And our Pearl Medallion will go down. We are exposed to a board wipe from the white player, but they've got a Sunscorched Regent, so, it will cost them if they want to wipe the board. Opponents have identified that I am the threat. It's not good. It's not good. No attacks from the Sunscorched Regent. Down for that. There's a Stonehewer Giant. That's a very strong card. That's probably worth a path. Opponent's going to Misspell Plains the Pure Steel Paladin back into the deck. Yep. Leaves 3 open mana. Oh, that's a Teferi's Protection. That is so Teferi's Protection. Land tax trigger. We'll get one. We got that Burnished Heart in our hand. And, of course, we draw planes. Play a plane. Do we need... I don't think we need the Tectonic Edge yet. Play a planes. Send all these over to the green player. Yeah, I'll send this one too. Why not? Just to make sure. Loaming Shaman enters the battlefield. Target player shuffles any number of target cards from their graveyard. Okay, it's just a blocker. Guardian Project will trigger. Opponent reshuffles all of our lands into our graveyard. It's awfully nice of them, considering we're trying to Alpha Strike them. Opponent blocks 3 things. Throws 1 in front of our commander. I think this is still lethal? I think it's still lethal. I think we put him at -1. The mono black opponent's going to gain a bunch of life. We put him to -1, so it was a good thing we sent everything. I almost didn't send Oketra right there. I figured they'd probably have one more blocker. You know, now we have some questions about what to do. I think it's time for the Burnished Heart. It'll trigger the Sunscorched Regent and the Oketra. Probably going to have to path the Stonehewer Giant. I'm going to see if the mono black player is going to lay down a board wipe first. The Thaumatic Compass is going to flip over. Gives us some nice protection. That's a Massacre Worm. It's not a problem yet. However, if opponent lays a board wipe down afterwards, it's going to hurt pretty bad. Now's as good a time as any to sacrifice the Burnished Heart. So if the white player has a board wipe, they could potentially get us for a lot of damage. Get 2 planes. And since the board wipe's not coming, I think we'll go ahead and path the Stonehewer Giant right here. Opponent will get themselves a land. Our tokens get smaller for a moment. Interesting, so our tokens all became 2/2s until end of turn. And opponent could have sent 3 tokens into us, and we could have mashed them all together. They would have gained a lot of life, and we would have lost a bunch of life. Or, I mean, I guess we could have also taken the 6, but I guess they probably all just want to... Maybe they just want to leave the blockers up, which also makes sense too. But ideally, we could find some, like, Lightning Greaves for this Odric. That'd be the most ideal. That is one of the problems that I found in Mono White. They're just, like, not great ways to give your stuff haste. Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, and like a Chroma's Memorial. And I guess that new Drawbridge card, that's probably about what you're looking at. Opponent's gonna Swords on our Oketra. Don't think there's that much we can do about it. So that's just gonna happen. We go back up to 42. No attacks from the Sunscorched Regent. Yep. Opponent can just slam their commander right here. And like, that's actually, with the path gone, it's actually a bit of a problem. Yep, here it comes. I mean, we can slam all of our tokens in there, but like, it's going to be costly to do it. We're also going to need to think about a flying blocker. We've got the Revelark. There's a Myriad Landscape. Don't know exactly what we're doing. Opponent would block 2 creatures. We would get through with 5. That's 20. Basically cutting their life in half. That's something. We would lose 2 creatures, so we would lose a bit. And then I think we might be open to some stuff on the backside. Got 9, 10 mana. I think we have to get Revelark into play. We're going to need the flying blocking. Sunscorched Regent gets bigger. Gives us 4 open mana. Kind of want to get the Myriad Landscape too, but I think we should get the Odric. Play the Plains. Think we attack the mono black opponent. They have more cards, and the Massacre Worm is pretty scary. So 7 zombies their way. They chump block with their tokens. They'll block one of our zombies and kill it. It's actually good. I thought they might double block with the tokens. This is going to gain them a bunch of life, actually. So they're at 45. Let's see how much we actually get done right here. We lose 1, which isn't too bad. We'll lose 2 life to the Massacre Worm. Opponent's going to gain 8. They're at 41. We got them for 4. You know, was not the most effective attack ever. Maybe better off going into the Zetalpa right there. Let's get Odric into play. Sunscorched Regent continuing to get bigger. Opponent's going to Misfail Plains a Marsh Flats back to the bottom. Sure. Put the Skull Clamp on the Revelark. Pass like that. See what our opponent's got for us. Try to stay out of the exile on the Revelark. Opponent already used the swords. 2 cards in hand. Don't know if they have the path. Feel like we might have seen it if they did. See if the black player's got the board wipe. Would still get us pretty good. Lose a lot of life. Here comes a Phyrexian Delver. Is this any graveyard? Your graveyard. So that's going to be the Cryptghast. Yeah, set him up for next turn, but all in all, could be worse. Opponent's going to lose 4 life at the end step. All right, they're down to 33 after the Delver and everything. Yep, opponent send in both like I thought they would. Guess we'll block the commander and Spire's the big one. Oh, that's got trample. We should have did that the other way. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. All right, well, we're going to take a hit then. I forgot it had trample amongst all of the keywords on there. So Skull Clamp and Revelark will trigger. Massacre Worm will trigger. Revelark, get back the Burnished Heart. Board wipe is still a problem for us. There's an Hour of Revelation. It's not going to work with the Massacre Worm in play. Nor that is a Zetalpa. That's an Ugin. Well, if opponents got Ugin, they got a Ugin. Can go Ugin X4. Odric down. I was hoping to keep that alive. Ooh, the Massacre Worm sticks. Whew. All right. We draw a Homeward Path. Hour of Rev does not fix the Zetalpa problem. It does fix these other problems, though. Interestingly, there are not 10 or more permanents on the battlefield currently, so Hour of Rev is going to be full price. But I think we're going to be on, let's see, if we Skull Clamp, we've got 10 mana right there. That'll be 11. It'll be 6, so it'll be 4 plus 6. Yeah, I think we got enough to do exactly that. So Skull Clamp the Burnished Heart. Sacrifice the Burnished Heart. Massacre Worm will get us. Skull Clamp will trigger. There's a Chroma's Memorial. That's very helpful. Get 2 planes. Gonna have to give up on the Skull Clamp, though. Makes me sad. Play Hour of Revelation. Everything else gets blued up. All right, so just the Zetalpa in play. And we've got 1 open mana. We'll play the Myriad Landscape. Seems like a time to do that. And pass the turn. The mono black players hurting pretty bad now. They've got 4 lands. Their doubler's gone. They have no creatures. There's Myriad Landscape. If the game goes long enough, they could get back into it. There's an Erebos. That can help him. That can help him out too. We're definitely not going to want to like dawdle around too much, and we'll probably try to want to get rid of him as quickly as we can. Oh, that's an Emeria Shepherd. What's in their graveyard? Sunscorched Regent. Ooh, Ugin. Ugin is in their graveyard. Ooh, that's not good. Here comes a land. I didn't see which land it is. It's a Scavenger Grounds. Okay, so Ugin back to the hand. It's kind of scary. Yep. Lightning Greaves actually. Oh. Lightning Greaves are also scary. We have a major problem, actually. So, well... Okay, yeah. Opponent's going to put Boots on the Zetalpa, which means we cannot fog it any longer. It's going to put a very fast clock on us. In it comes. The other problem is, if opponent has another land to get back that Ugin, they could potentially play Ugin minus things that are much smaller than Zetalpa, like our tokens. X0, actually. And then they have a free path at us, so we need to hope they don't have a land. Can move the Boots over to the Emeria Shepherd. I guess we have a Scavenger Grounds in hand. That might be an option, but it's going to be tough to find the mana to do all of this. There's a Cathar's Crusade. That's something. Let's play the Scavenger Ground. What else is in opponent's graveyard? They have the Sunscorched Regent, Thespian Stage, some lands. A Chroma's Memorial is 7. How much is our Commander? Commander is also 7. That's 14. Ooh. Zetalpa's going to be lethal on us if we don't block. Yeah, I guess it's a Chroma's Memorial. Got Eternal Oketra. Hope it all sticks. There's a Chroma's Memorial. Got ourselves a God Eternal Oketra. Swing into the mono black player. That life gain, they've gained a lot of life this game. They're still at 35, so yeah. Opponent's going to crack a Myriad Landscape. Yep. Opponent's going to draw a card with the Erebos. Sure. Let's see what opponent's got. We got to hope they don't get that Ugin back. That's a Stoneforge Mystic's probably going to do it. Blackblade Reforged. Argentum Armor. Any of that stuff. We need to hope they forget to move the Boots. Trailblazers, Boots. Okay, well, we still need to hope they forget to move the Lightning Greaves. That's our chance right here. Nope. Yep, down we go. Oh, if I spired the Zetalpa like I should have and then blocked the other creature last time, we would survive this hit. And I mean, if we untap, that's probably game because we make a ton of tokens and, well, maybe not completely game, but we put a lot of power on board. Wow, one small mistake. Ugh, that hurts. Forgot that it had trample. Here's an Ogre Slumlord for opponent. So, I mean, the big thing that got us, for the most part, was Ugin. I guess I got myself by making a mistake, but the Ugin got us pretty good. That cleaned us out. If we got a shot through with that Odric, that would have been huge. Opponent plays Ever After to get back Massacre Worm and Phyrexian Delver. So that kills the Stoneforge Mystic, and that'll create a rat. Opponent will lose 2 life. I don't think they're just dead, but a Plains gets back Ugin. Also gets back Sunscorched Regent and Stoneforge Mystic. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem more than anything, we could point at some of the mistakes, we could point at the Ugin, this and that, but I think just we became the archenemy is what happened, and sometimes it's just hard to overcome being the archenemy. There's just no way around it. Opponent lays down a Cage Sun, so that's kind of what got us. Yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, the Ugin got us, and this, that, and the other thing, but. Being the archenemy, once people are pooling their resources against you, it's really hard to win. Here comes a Heavenly Blade Master. Opponent send an attack into the mono black player. I think they're gonna, maybe not. That's 14. Nope, down they go, -6. So Zetalpa getting there, yeah, just kind of outlasting everyone. Once removal starts flying, Zetalpa is actually positioned pretty well. It's too big to be hit by Ugin and is indestructible, so most of the whiteboard wipes aren't getting it. So anyway, yeah, made a mistake there. We also became the archenemy. Overall, I'm happy with how the deck played, so that's the thing that I'm most happy about. We had that nice efficient start with the mana at the beginning. Our hand was a little bit Christmas landy, though. The Pearl Medallion with the White Mane Lion, those are the cards you're looking for. Now, we have a few copies of those things. We do have an Oketra's Monument and Core Skyfisher and Stone Cloaker to simulate those same sort of things, but, we found the most efficient form of that combo with this deck, and we were able to put a lot of power on board. But even then, it was still hard because even doing that, and even at 1 mana, you're caught between this choice of, like, continue reinforcing your zombies or try to do other things. I feel like if we had gotten Odric at some point sooner in the game and had actually gotten an attack off with it, that would have changed things fairly dramatically, because that thing can really... Not that Odric, the other one. This Odric. Because you can control our opponent's block, so you can use it like removal. We could have gotten rid of the Massacre Worm by putting Skull Clamp on something, and, stuff like that. So that was kind of the thing. It was still this balancing act of just trying to be able to cast all the things we wanted to get going in the time that we wanted them to go. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. All right, so just the oh god, I can't say it. Just the Zetalpa in play.